as well as the man who leads the Federal Road Safety here in Nigeria, the Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Malam Shehu Mohammed MNI, FCA. I'm waiting to be given a nod for the program to kickstart. Before your arrival, Your Excellencies, we have the President of the Senate, His Excellency Senator Dr. Godswill Takpabio, GCU, and in a representative capacity here, represented by the former Chairman, Senate Committee on FERMA, and today Chairman, Senate Committee on Northwest Development Commission. I mentioned that the Chairman of the Senate Committee on FERMA is here alongside his colleague, and I'm talking about the former Minority Leader of the Senate, Distinguished Senator Sahabi Alhaji Yao, and his brother and friend from the House of Representatives, who is equally an engineer of very high repute, Honorable Engineer Aderemi Oseni. We welcome all of you. Honorable Francis Waive is a House of Representatives Committee Chairman on the 5% user charge. I think with this, Your Excellencies, if we're not asking for too much, if the Honorable Minister of State gives me the nod that we kickstart this program, we will then get this program started in earnest. May we please rise for the national anthem. The first stanza only, please. If you're ready with it, the first stanza of the national anthem. Can we sing it? All right, let us sing it. If after the count of 2, 1, 2, go. Nigeria, building our own their native land, though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigeria's all are proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Please let's remain standing as we take the third stanza as our national prayers directed by the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. O God of all creation, grant these our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria and may and shall be blessed. Amen. Amen. Please put your hands together for the Federal Republic of Nigeria and FEMA. Please, may we be seated. Thank you very much. The special guest of honor, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented at this event by no less a person than the Honorable Minister of State for Works, very perfect legal luminary of very high standing, Bello Mohammed Gurunyo, Esquire. The Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, who is unavoidably absent, but in representation, he has a special advisor to the President on Power and Infrastructure, representing the Vice President, Sadiq Nwanka. Your Excellency, the distinguished guest of honor, and Secretary to Government of the Federation. Senator George Akume CON, Secretary to Government of the Federation. The distinguished President of the Senate, distinguished Senator Godswill Obot Akpabio, GCON, ably represented here by the distinguished Chairman, Senate Committee on Northwest Development Commission, distinguished Senator Babangida Hussaini, I did mention that distinguished Senator Babangida Hussaini is the Chairman, Senate Committee on Northwest, and he was also the former Chairman, Senate Committee on FERMA. He stands in here this morning representing the President of the Senate and Chairman of the National Assembly. The Senate Committee Chairman on FERMA and former Senate Minority Leader, distinguished Senator Sahabi Alhaji Yao, the Chairman, House Committee on FERMA, Honorable Engineer Aderemi Oseni, Chairman, House Committee on Ad Hoc Committee on the 5% user charge, Honorable Pastor Francis Waive, the convener of this program will get to you. Let me quickly pay glowing tributes to the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Works, Adiladan Rafiu Olanre, the Chairman Governing Board, FERMA, Dr. Musa Babayo, PhD, and other members of the board here present, the distinguished Chief Convener of this epoch-making event, the man I prefer to refer to as a man of distinction and a trailblazer, Engineer Chukwuemeka Agbasi, PhD, Fellow, Nigerian Society of Engineers, Managing Director and CEO of FERMA. Heads of departments and agencies of government here present, Your Excellencies, members of a diplomatic corps, former Chairman of FERMA, former Chairman of former Governing Council and Governing Boards present, Corps Marshal of the Road Safety Commission, Federal Road Safety Commission, Malam Shehu Mohammed, former MDs and CEOs of FERMA, representative of societies, especially the Nigerian Society of Engineers. The President is ably represented. The President Quran, Engineer Professor Sadiq Zubair Abakar, Chairman NHITE, Engineer Francis Uriaki, Chairman NICE, Engineer Mariam Bala, President NATO, ably represented here. Alhaji Yusuf Lawal Othman is represented by a director in NATO, who is equally here representing Natiku Zailani Ahmed. Mr. Johnson Ewelafo, DG ICRC, ably represented. CEO MD MPRA, Engineer Saidu Aliyu Mohammed. DG Budget Office of the Federation, Mr. Tanimu Yakubu, represented at this occasion. Director General Naibri, Professor Engineer Samson Duna. DG NCCC, Mr. Omotein Loye, Majeko Dumi, Chairman ICWC, Igbon Tai Square, also represented, and our Dean of Environmental Science and Head of Department, Civil Engineering, Nile University, Professor Abdulhamid Danjuma Mambo. Representative of embassies here, and of course, the resident representative of the United Nations Development Program, Ms. Elsie Atafua, ably represented. Director UNIDO, Ambassador Johnson Philbert Abaka. COO Esther Silverman Global Engineer Ike Bona, and Managing Director of UK Knife, Professor Chidi Onya, all other distinguished invited guests, captains of industry, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, our very distinguished President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all other protocols respectfully observed. This summit is both apt, timely, and expedient that the Federal Road Maintenance Agency convenes this National Roads 2026 Summit at a moment when infrastructure remains the backbone of Nigeria's economic recovery and long-time growth. Across the nation today, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, roads are no longer seen or perceived as mere pathways, but indeed, the FERMA and Federal Ministry of Works see roads as lifelines that connect markets, communities, productivity, and national cohesion. This summit, therefore, focuses, among many other issues, the most critical, from my perspective, sustainable road infrastructure for national growth as a theme of this Epoch Summit. The aim is to address the very arteries through development outcomes. And so this summit, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is particularly essential as Nigeria deepens its commitment to durability, innovation, and value for money in infrastructure delivery. And FERMA has done this considerably well. I think FERMA, with the MD on the saddle, deserves a big round of applause. Can we please give it up for FERMA? Today's event, Your Excellencies, also reflects the unwavering support of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, GDFR, his administration, whose renewed hope agenda places infrastructure at the economic transformation and under the able supervision of an ancestor, as I call him, in the field of engineering. A man who is passionate. He has also shown leadership, and he is none other than the uncompromising Honorable Minister of Works, Engineer Dave Umahi, CON, Nigerian Society of Engineers. I think he deserves a round of applause as well. Let me also eulogize the esteemed presence of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for all that he has done today and all the support that Nigeria and FEMA alongside has been getting from him. Can we please give him a round of applause? And then finally, we must celebrate our very distinguished guest of honor, the Secretary to Government of the Federation, for always being the engine room of government, but always responding to every call from every ministry, every agency of government. Please celebrate the Secretary to Government of the Federation one more time. It is with these few words that I hope that I have been able to convince you to please continuously support infrastructure governance, and especially the yeoman's job that the Managing Director and CEO of FEMA, Engineer Chukwuemeka Agbasi, PhD, is doing. Please give him a round of applause as we welcome him to the podium to please come up with his remarks of welcome. Can we hear that applause one more time for the Managing Director, CEO?
Good morning, all. Because of pressure of time, please permit me to stand on existing protocol. It is my honor and privilege to welcome you to FERMA Road Summit 2026 on sustainable road infrastructure for national growth. Your presence here today reflects a shared recognition of one fundamental truth. No nation can achieve sustained economic growth, social inclusion, or regional integration without a reliable and well-maintained road infrastructure system. In Nigeria, this truth is even more pronounced as our roads are the lifeblood of our economy, our people, our goods, and our opportunities. At this juncture, I wish to specially commend the visionary leadership of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, whose unwavering commitment to infrastructure development has continued to refine the nation's economic trajectory. The President's strong policy direction, sustained investment in road infrastructure, and emphasis on value for money projects have provided the enabling environment for agencies such as FERMA to effectively discharge their mandate. I also extend appreciation to the Honorable Minister of Works, Engineer Senator David Nweze Umahi, the Honorable Minister of State for Works, Bello Mohammed Goroyo Esquire, and the Chairman, FERMA Governing Board, Dr. Musa Babaya, for their strategic guidance, technical oversight, and consistent support towards improving the condition of federal roads across the country. Their dedication to quality, accountability, and innovation has strengthened coordination within the road sector and enhanced service delivery within the agency. Furthermore, I acknowledge with deep gratitude the National Assembly, particularly the Senate and House of Rep committees on FERMA, for their robust legislative backing, oversight functions, and timely intervention on legislative issues. Their support has been instrumental in sustaining road maintenance programs and advancing reforms aimed at improving efficiency and transparency in infrastructure delivery. Road transport remains the dominant mode of mobility in Nigeria, accounting for the vast majority of passenger and freight movement. From farm produce moving to markets, to industrial goods connecting to ports, to citizens accessing education, healthcare, and employment, roads shape daily life and economic outcomes across our nation. Yet, despite the importance we all are aware of the persistent challenges facing our road sector, deteriorating assets, maintenance backlogs, and climate-induced damage and funding constraints and road safety concerns. These challenges impose significant economic costs. Higher vehicle operating costs, longer travel times, reduced competitiveness, and most importantly, risk to human lives. This summit is therefore timely and necessary. Sustainable road infrastructure extends beyond building roads. It is about building better roads and managing them better. It requires a shift from the short-term reactive intervention to long-term life cycle planning. It calls for data-driven asset management, resilient design standards, predictable maintenance funding, and strong institutional coordination across all tiers of government. More importantly, sustainability in road infrastructure is about national growth. Well-maintained roads stimulate roads trade, unlock rural economies, attract investments, create jobs, and strengthen national cohesion. Evidence from within Nigeria clearly shows that improved road access leads to national household income, better access to social services, and more inclusive economic development. Over the course of this summit, We will engage in meaningful discussions on sustainable road infrastructure, road asset maintenance and management policy, policy implications, innovative financing, public-private partnership, climate resilience, road safety, and capacity development. We will encourage participants to share their experiences and lessons from successful projects, examine what has worked and what has not, and chart a practical path forward for Nigerian road sector. I encourage all participants to engage openly, share experiences, and focus on actionable solutions. The outcomes of our discussion should not remain within the conference halls, but translate into policies, programs, and investment that deliver lasting value to the Nigerian people. Let us use this platform to reaffirm our collective commitment to sustainable road infrastructure as a foundation for economic resilience, social equity, and long-term national prosperity. Once again, I warmly welcome you and wish you all a productive and impactful summit. Thank you.
I think we can do better with that round of applause for the indefatigable Managing Director and CEO of FERMA. Two quick corrections I need to make. The very first one is that the engine room of the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is the one wearing the president's cap at this occasion. So I therefore that correction very quickly, that the Secretary to Government of the Federation, His Excellency Senator George Akume CON, is representing the President, Chief of the Armed Forces. Please a round of applause for him in that order. We're not inviting you yet, sir. Just a few seconds. I have just made that correction as to letting everybody know that you are the one wearing the cap of the President. And the second correction is that the President of the Senate, His Excellency Senator Dr. Godswill Obot Akpabio, GCON, is represented at this event by Distinguished Senator Sahabi Alhaji Yao, the Chairman, Senate Committee on FERMA. Please can we put our hands together for him in that all respect? And Distinguished Senator Babangida Hussaini is here wearing his cap as a senator who was the immediate past chairman of FERMA and also sitting today very tall as the Chairman, Senate Committee on Northeast Development Commission. Please put your hands together for him one more time. And then to let all of us know that we are live on television stations. We're live on Channels Television, the ubiquitous. We're also live on TVC networks. So please, let's be mindful of that. As we make progress, Your Excellency, I've been invited and asked by the Abuja Continental Hotel Safety and Security Information Desk to read out these safety announcements. First is that I should welcome all of you to this all-important summit, and that the gents and ladies are located at the pre-function area and back of the LKCC office. In case of any fire alarm, we have told that today is scheduled for no fire drill. Therefore, in case there is a fire alarm that lasted more than 5 to 10 seconds, then it is going to be an evacuation alarm that will be played. But do not panic. Do not attempt to tackle the fire yourself. However small, inform a staff of the hotel who is nearby. For any form of evacuation, in case the need arises, in the event that evacuation becomes necessary, it is important that you are aware of the following procedures. Remain calm. Do not stop to collect your baggage or personal belongings. Do not shout, run, or push each other. Follow the official voice instructions. Assembly at the fire muster point by the left-hand side of the conference hall or tennis court muster point. And do not re-enter the building. The duty manager will inform you once the building has been cleared and declared safe for re-entrance. In the event of a security alert, you'll be told by a member of the hotel management to evacuate to a safe area. Take all belongings that you can carry with you if possible, but in the event of any security alert, if you will not necessarily be evacuated out of the building, but to stay safe within the property. Personal belongings and other property. They told us, please, that we should not leave our belongings on any property unattended for security reasons, and that, for instance, going to make a speech, convenience, tea break, lunch, dinner, or whatsoever reason that make you want to leave your seat, you must be observant. The hotel is not liable for any loss, damage, or theft of unattended property. In case of any emergency, we're asked to call 8111, or better still, there's a phone number to call which can be read. Thank you very much for your kind attention. And having listened to the remarks of welcome from the Managing Director and Chief Convener of this program, may I then yield the floor very briefly to the cultural troupe that will be entertaining us for the next 5 minutes or thereabout. Let's please welcome Afri Theatre. And they are performing Atilogo dance. I'm going to insist on another round of applause for the Afri Theatre for that performance of Atilogo dance. Atilogo dance, by the way, is almost like a warrior dance in the eastern part of this country. But of course, if you don't eat a lot of swallow, akpu and eba, don't dance. These guys have danced. Let's put our hands together for them one more time. Thank you, and thank you very much indeed. We'll be taking a few goodwill messages at this point in time, and it is pertinent that you please indulge us for a very brief moment. Your Excellency, our special guest of honor, the very first goodwill is going to become coming from Engineer Nuruddin Rafindadi. I don't know if he's still here with us. Can we welcome him with a round of applause as a former MD of FERMA? Please, we'll take you very quickly, and I'd like to plead with you for brevity of time that you'll take only 2 minutes. The first 1 minute will be for you to extend salutations, but please skip protocols as much as possible as they come to the microphone for your goodwill message. Please, a round of applause for him one more time. I'd also like to prepare the mind of the President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers representative to please be on standby for his goodwill message as well. 2 minutes, sir. Thank you very much. And your time starts now.
Thank you, MC. I'd like to recognize all our distinguished guests here today, starting from representative of the President and Commander-in-Chief, distinguished members of the National Assembly, the management of FEMA, led by Engineer Dr. Agbasi, and all other staff and colleagues. I would just like thank the board and management of FEMA. To the board and management of FEMA for keeping the flag flying. I thank you most sincerely on behalf of all of us that have been formally at the helm of FEMA, and particularly for this epoch-making event. I hope this will be a regular occurrence in FEMA as everyone in the economy comes to realize that federal highway network is actually like the veins carrying the blood through and keeping the economy alive. And that maintenance of road, we in FEMA believe regular and periodic maintenance, and efficient management and asset management of the roads is in many cases more important than actually building the roads. And that is by keeping the roads well maintained, we may keep the economy growing. And the cost of non-performance of road is a cost that is borne not only by government, but the entire economy. And so having said that, I would like to say my sincere appreciation for having been invited. There's another former MD of FEMA, a senior of mine, Engineer Dr. Amuchi. We all, on behalf of former chief executives, say well done to what you are doing. And we hope this continues. And thank you very much.
I'm sure we took you unawares, but in this business, we can't help but take quite a good number of our guests unawares if you're not prepared for this. But of course, we all know that as engineers, they're always ever ready. So put your hands together for him. One quick moment as I invite, but I need to consult. DJ, can we have some very light music, not too loud, please? due to the exigencies of the Office of the Special Guest of Honor, the Secretary to Government of the Federation standing in for the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we might not be able to keep him here longer than this moment. And as a result, he extended apologies, but before we invite him to speak, it will be pertinent that the chief host of this event, who doubles as the Honorable Minister of State for Works, who also superintends over the affairs of FERMA, to speak to us very briefly before we invite the SGF representing the President to speak. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Minister of State, Bello Mohammed Goronyo, Esquire.
Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator Dr. George Akume, the representative of the Vice President, Honorable Sadiq Wanka, the Chairman Senate Committee on FEMA, Senator Sahabi Yao Ora, and Senator Babangida Hussein, the Chairman House of Representative Committee on FEMA, Honorable Hussein Aderemi, the Chairman of the House Committee on 5% User Charge, Mr. Honorable Francis Webby, the Co-Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Malan Shehu Muhammad, very distinguished personalities. Time will not fail me to mention each and every one of you, but I also recognize the MD of FEMA, who is the convener of this very important program. Let me begin by thanking Almighty Allah for sparing our lives to witness this very important occasion. We gather here at a very pivotal moment in our nation's history, at a time when renewed hope for infrastructure is not just a slogan, but a visible reality across the 36,000 kilometers federal road network. The theme of this summit, sustainable road infrastructure for national growth, goes to the heart of our mission. Roads are not merely asphalt and gravel. They are the arteries through which the lifeblood of our economy flows. Road transport remains Nigeria's dominant mode of mobility, handling over 90% of both passenger and goods movements. When our road work, Nigeria moves forward. Yet, road abuses remains a critical challenge. Practices such as overloading, reckless driving, and unauthorized road use shorten the lifespan of our investments. The consequence is a heavy drain on lean government resources, forcing repeated repairs instead of allowing us to expand and modernize our network. Tackling road abuse is therefore essential to protecting public funds and ensuring lasting value for the Nigerian people. We must commend His Excellency President Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR for according priority to road infrastructure and for supporting FEMA to carry out its mandate. Under his renewed hope agenda, infrastructure has been repositioned as a primary driver of national security and economic stability. Mr. President's mandate is clear. We are building $1 trillion $1 trillion economy, and that economy cannot run on failed roads. We also appreciate members of the National Assembly, particularly the committees on FERMA, for their constant oversight and supporting us with budgetary provisions that enable us to fulfill our responsibilities. Their partnership ensures that our work is not only visible but sustainable. Our gratitude extends to the Honorable Minister of Works, Engineer David Umahi, whose leadership and White Council continue to guide our efforts. We equally acknowledge the Permanent Secretary and Managing Director of FEMA for their unwavering support, which strengthen our capacity to deliver on this national assignment. This administration has made bold choices despite fiscal constraints. We are accelerating legacy projects, focusing on vital corridors and moving beyond annual budget towards public-private partnerships, life cycle costing, and innovative resource management. Through the renewed Hope Infrastructure Development Fund, we are closing fund gaps with zero tolerance for waste. Sustainability today means three things: adopting modern construction standards, including concrete pavement technology to extend road life; transition to technology-driven maintenance, with FEMA leading a proactive data-driven model; building climate resilient and local capacity using materials that withstand changing rainfall patterns while empowering indigenous contractors and Nigerian professionals. But sustainability is not only about engineering, it is about culture. We must improve funding, predictability, strengthen coordination between agencies and the private sector, and enhance and embrace road maintenance as a strategic investment in our national survival. Our roads represent a social contract with Nigerian people who build sustainability. We lower food prices, improve healthcare delivery, enhance competitiveness, and unite our nation. The quality of our work determines the quality of life for over 200 million people. I charge FEMA and all stakeholders here to turn these deliberations into concrete actions. Let this summit be the blueprint of an era where Nigerian roads are synonymous with safety, excellence, and dignity. Together, through political will and technical excellence, we build the foundation for renewed Nigeria. I thank you all. May God Almighty help us deliver this summit successfully. And on the final note, let me register a sincere apology of the Honorable Minister of Works, Engineer David Umahi, who wanted to be here personally, but because of exigencies of work, he was unable to be here and asked me to stand in for him. And also said that in agreement with both of us, that the gala night and whatever name call, as we've seen in the brochure, is completely cancelled because of the mood of the nation, even though it was not organized directly by FEMA, but somebody who is a friend to this government, friends to His Excellency, Mr. President, deemed it fit to host it, but still we felt that it's not at the right time. Nigerians need to be given the best of the road infrastructure. So we canceled the gala night and all other OMBs due to the nature of the state, that things are happening and we need to really, tune in line with the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for this opportunity. May God bless all of you.
the remarks of the host, minister, and chief host of this event put together there, speaking on behalf of Senator Engineer David Umahi, CEO and fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and himself as a supervising minister of FERMA. Can we please give him another round of applause, please? That is deserving. Thank you, and thank you very much indeed. And moving on very quickly, because of time constraint, I'm compelled at this juncture to then invite our leader, the #1 citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the one who has propelled join me in welcoming the leader who has made men and is still in the business of making men. Please, let's welcome him, who is standing in for the president himself, as we welcome the Secretary to Government of the Federation, His Excellency Senator George Akume, CON, presenting the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. So that standing ovation is for the President. Please, a round of applause for him.
Vice President, His Excellency Kashim Shettima, ably represented by Special Advisor Wanka, members of the National Assembly, here present, particularly Mr. Yao, who's representing the President, the President of the Senate. I also recognize the other senators here present, members of the House of Representatives, who are presiding over some of the committees that are relevant to the Ministry of Works. The Honorable Minister of Works, ably represented by the Honorable Minister of State, Housing, who also oversees FERMA. He's therefore wearing 2 caps this afternoon. The chairman and members of FERMA Governing Council, the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, managing director of FERMA Agbasi, the co-marshal, the chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Highway and Transportation Engineers, Director General of the Nigerian Building Road Research Institute, former chairman and former members of the FERMA Governing Council, the respected panelists from the financial sector, the academia, professional bodies, transport unions, and industry, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I stand in for His Excellency, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu JCFR. Permit me to read his address. It gives me great pleasure to join you at this all-important summit on sustainable road infrastructure of our country's socio-economic advancement. Let me, from the onset, bring you the best wishes of His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is the architect of the renewed investment on roads and execution of the most significant road projects from Lagos to Calabar and from Sokoto to Badagry in our history. The theme of this summit, sustainable road infrastructure for Nigeria's socio-economic advancement, is both timely and strategic. My humble view, discussion around the theme is also long overdue. That is why I wish to acknowledge the good leadership of the Honorable Minister of Works and the Minister of State for their roles in executing this summit. Similarly, the gathering of all your critical stakeholders here today underscores a shared national commitment to ensuring that Nigeria's road network remains safe, reliable, and resilient for the movement of goods and services today and for generations yet unborn. Road infrastructure is the backbone of Nigeria's socio-economic life. This is because roads connect our farms to markets, our cities, our industries to supply chains, our citizens to opportunities, and our commitments to one another. In practical terms, a huge number of passengers and freight movement in Nigeria depends on roads. The condition, reliability, sustainability of federal road, therefore, have a direct bearing on economic productivity, national integration, road safety, and overall quality of life of Nigerians. This summit is convened at a critical moment because our road network has been under siege through intense pressure from rapid population growth, urbanization, increasing traffic volumes, overloading, climate-induced stresses, and persistent funding constraints. These pressures affect not only the physical condition of our roads, but also safety, security, environmental sustainability, social inclusion, and economic competitiveness. The consequences of this range from increased travel time and vehicle operating costs to road accidents and loss of productivity are too significant for us to ignore. It is in recognition of these realities that the renewed hope agenda of this administration has placed infrastructure development at the heart of national renewal. Roads are not viewed merely as construction projects, but as strategic national assets that must support inclusive growth, national cohesion, and long-term development. Under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's leadership, Nigeria is witnessing unprecedented inclusive investments in road infrastructure, driven by a commitment to quality, durability, and value for money. Let me at this point highlight a few flagship interventions that reflect this renewed focus. The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, spanning approximately 750 kilometers, is designed to unlock Nigeria's blue economy, enhance connectivity along our coastal corridor, and stimulate tourism, trade, and industrial development. Complementing this is the Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway, a historic 1,068-kilometer north-south corridor that will connect the far northwest of our country to the Atlantic, opening new economic frontiers and strengthening national integration. Those that are currently being driven, like Abuja, Kaduna, Zaria, Kano Road, Abuja, Lokoja, Benin, and Benin Asaba Super Highway, Akwanga, Jos, Bauchi, Gombe. Those that have been completed or nearing completion include Lagos Ibadan Expressway, Bodo Boni Road, Oyo Bomosho Road, 9th Mile to Otugo Makodi Road, and the Enugu Port Harcourt Expressway. Together, these highways redefine Nigeria's road transport architecture and symbolize our determination to build infrastructure that unites the nation and grows the economy. In addition, the completion of major bridges, most notably the Second Niger Bridge, and the rehabilitation of critical assets, such as the Third Mainland Bridge, Eko Bridge, and Kata Bridge in Lagos, as well as strategic links across the Niger Delta and other regions, demonstrate this administration's resolve to close connectivity gaps and preserve existing assets. Importantly, these projects are being executed with a new emphasis on engineering excellence, climate resilience, and long-term service life, with design lives of 50 to 100 years. However, it is important to make it clear that building new roads is only half the responsibility of governance. The other half, which is equally critical, is maintaining and preserving what we have built. Sustainable road maintenance is not an option, it is a compelling necessity. Without it, today's investments become tomorrow's liabilities. This is the central mandate of the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FERMA, and it is why this summit is of such national importance. A sustainable road maintenance framework must be preventive rather than reactive, planned rather than ad hoc, and driven by evidence rather than assumptions. In this regard, I wish to emphasize the strategic importance of systemic road audits and robust data management. Sustainable infrastructure management begins with knowing the true condition of our assets. Another important factor is that FERMA must continue to strengthen routine road condition audits, safety audits, and post-failure assessments across the federal road network. More importantly, the development of a comprehensive georeferenced national database of failed and failing federal roads is imperative. Such a database should clearly document the causes of failure, whether due to design limitations, construction quality, overloading, drainage challenges, climate impacts, or maintenance lapses. With accurate and up-to-date data, Nigeria can more decisively move from emergency repairs to predictive and preventive maintenance planning. A credible road asset database will enhance budgeting accuracy, prioritization of interventions, contractor accountability, and research collaboration with institutions such as the Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute, NIBRI. It will also align Nigeria with global best practices in road asset management, where infrastructure decisions are guided by life cycle costing, performance indicators, and resilient demands. Equal importance is the need for institutional clarity and mandate discipline. Sustainable road governance thrives where roles are clearly defined and respected. The Federal Ministry of Work remains the lead institution for policy formulation, standards, design, construction, and major rehabilitation of federal roads, while FERMA's statutory responsibility is the maintenance, preservation, and protection of completed federal road assets. These mandates are complementary, not competitive. Avoiding overlaps and duplication is essential for efficiency, accountability, and value for money. The Renewed Hope Agenda places a premium on coordination, coherence, and results, and it is in this spirit that effective collaboration between the Ministry of Works and FERMA must be sustained, guided by law, policy and shared national objectives. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, sustainable road infrastructure also demands predictable and adequate funding, enforcement of axle load regulation, adoption of durable and climate-resilient materials, and innovation through public-private partnerships and infrastructure tax credit schemes. It requires political will, professional integrity, and stakeholder alignment across government, industry, and road users. This administration has demonstrated immense political will to achieve the desired objectives. This summit therefore provides us a rare opportunity for honest reflection, shared learning, and forward-looking dialogue among policymakers, legislators, engineers, financiers, contractors, researchers, and road users. I am confident that the deliberations of this gathering will yield practical recommendations that will strengthen policy, enhance institutional performance, and improve the sustainability of Nigeria's road network. The federal government looks forward to the outcomes of this summit and remains committed to translating them into actionable policies, stronger partnerships, and measurable improvements on our roads. On this note, I thank you all for listening. And it's now my honor and privilege to formally declare the FERMA Road Summit 2026 open. God bless FERMA. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
His Excellency has also directed that I announce that we can continue with the goodwill messages as he goes back to office. Please go and give him a resounding applause as he takes leave of us. The Honorable Minister will see him off, and then as soon as he gets back, we'll continue the rest of the goodwill messages. Please accept our unreserved apologies. Thank you. So for those of you that we have penciled down for goodwill messages, we'll take that and would allow the MD and the Minister see him off. And then as soon as they get back, we can continue the rest of the goodwill messages. But whilst we wait for him to rejoin us after seeing off the representative of the President, Commander-in-Chief, we have a comedian in the house whose duty it is to make top-notch politicians and professionals as yourselves laugh. He has made the President Tinubu himself laugh before, and he is in this hall to make us laugh a little bit just before we continue. Please join me, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome MC Charlie White. MC Charlie White.
Thank you. Good day, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm not really happy. I was introduced, nobody clapped for me, nobody welcomed. No. Do I look like a Nigeria? Do I look like a Nigeria? Please, which country do you think I'm from? You say? No, I'm proud to let you know where I'm from. I'm from one of the finest states you can ever look for. The state with the best road network. We pay salary on time. No bad record in the state I came from. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to announce to you that I'm from Kogi State. So on this note, please, sir, you will reintroduce me again. Please, you people should pretend you don't know me. I'm on air, I'm on live TV now. Please welcome me very well. So I will do better. Reintroduce me, sir.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, can you please join me as we welcome one of the best comedians in this part of the world. Please join me in welcoming MC Charlie White.
Thank you. I think this sounds better. Let me calm down a bit. In case you are wondering if this boy is Oyibo or Abino. Nabino from Nyanya. You know the difference between Oyibo and Abino. Now when you kidnap, you go know who they pay who. If I'm cracking jokes and you are not laughing, does not mean I'm not funny. If I crack jokes, you don't laugh, you don't worry. Around 2 a.m., you see me like this for your wardrobe. Everything will be funny to you. Something that might be working for you might not be working for another person. Am I communicating? Things that might be working, you might not be working for another person. We are seated like this. We are seated like part of your neighbor. Tell your neighbor the Lord has paid for my debt. As a sharp people boy, I look at my landlord, the Lord has paid for my debt. Even man, tell the Lord I've not gotten a lot. You will agree with me, places you stay in Abuja matters. You know, from your voice, we can tell where you stay. Yeah, please, from my voice, where do you think I stay? From my voice. Huh? Who they shout Nyanya? No, do you know? Greetings, sir. Someone said I'm from Nyanya. Nyanya? What look like Nyanya from me? Nyanya? No, I can't stay Nyanya. Nyanya, where go they make up? They go thief your phone, your hand go there, go to the network. No, I can't stay Nyanya. By the grace of God, I came into Abuja as a young man to hustle. I actually packed to Maraba, but God have really done me well. Comedy industry is paying me. To the glory of the Lord, I'm no longer in Maraba now. I've upgraded. I'm back to Masaka. So I'm going back to now my house. You better pass house rent. It's not to pay house rent in Abuja. The power is, can you renew? Just see, man. I'm just laughing. My face they scream. No. National cameraman all flash, you go struggle to edit them. Ladies and gentlemen, for real, I want to add very quickly, if you are tall, marry a woman short. If you are slim, marry a woman that is fat. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are fair, marry a woman that is dark. My mother, they bleach. My father, they bleach. Straight in the combine. Sir, the way you are laughing, is it my joke or my condition? Okay, the way they laugh, this will not be my joke again. No. I was laughing. Just last week, I've been in my church. She was loving me. Now I say, hey, stop that. Affliction will never rise for the second time. Ladies and gentlemen, please. Know to do it very, very well. Yeah? Very, very well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank to FERMA for working on most of our roads. I was talking about Kogi. Thank God, una don't reach Kogi. Now, Kogi, where we say you go there gallop. I did for motor, they do road trip for gallop now. For Kogi, we did gallop, motor they bounce. Because of the gallop, I don't know where person gala. I bounce, enter, I chop am. Some things might be working for you, might not be working for another person. Like I was saying around where you stay in Abuja, if you live around town, you use Google Map, Google will tell you where you go to. Let's say you are using Google Map from Asokoro, where I stay, from Asokoro to here. You use Google Map, this is what you hear, move, your destination will be left, where you're around Asokoro. You use Google Map to locate here. You'll be like, move, your destination will be by the left. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever wondered how to use Google Map to Nyanya? When you use Google Map to Nyanya, it will know when you get around Abuja Road, Google will be telling you move, your destination will be in front. When you are around Abuja Barrack, when you are around Karo, Google will be telling you, move, your destination will be in front. Ladies and gentlemen, as soon as Sure. As soon as you arrive, Nyanya, now God will leave you. Now God will ask you, where are we? Sir, the way you are, should I help you? Because the last exam where I write, my lecturer never mark a move. Anything you are doing, try to know what you are doing. So I don't on flash. You will be showing negative, I will be showing positive. I was privileged to travel out of Nigeria. I don't know. Most of you that have gone to visa interview, you understand. You agree with this with me. The woman asked me, young man, where are you coming? Where are you going? Remember, if I tell her I'm from Nigeria, she will not believe because of my color. I told her I'm from Zambia. She said, can you recite the Zambia national anthem? Something can't tell me for Igbo. I said I would try. As soon as I stood before her, can you recite Zambia national anthem? I placed my hand on my chest. I started the Zambia national anthem. Zamo zam, zamo zam, zam kuchineke, zamo kumo, zam zam zamo. To convince the woman that I'm reciting the Zambia national anthem, na Zambia. The woman never knew when she asked me, sure. So ladies and gentlemen, because of the way the mic is breaking, I want to say thank you so much for having me. But before I sign up, look at the person sitting close to you. Tell your neighbor, God will bless you. Hold someone's hand now. Tell your neighbor, ensure you are holding someone's hand. Hold someone's hand. Say your neighbor, this is your hand that I'm holding. Now, so money go the back. Or you leave your neighbor's hand, hold your neighbor's head. Hold your neighbor's head. Tell your neighbor, this is your hand that I'm holding. Now, so money go the back. Before not properly, with your kind permission, sir, I want to take a picture with you. Yes, sir, should I come close? Yes, sir, I see you that I'm talking to. Yes, don't mind my eyes. Oh. I've been where would they look? Not be where would they go? Okay, I should come, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Sir, you know what you do for me now, sir? You will hold my neck like I know you now. Oh, yeah, snap. Minister of Work like this, I don't get work. Oh, what I go do now? I don't know. Okay, I get work. I have work. Thank you so much. Mona, clap for me now. I get work. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. You're not smiling. You don't like my work? I should go ahead. Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me. Enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you. Please can we put our hands together for MC Charlie White. That was just an opportunity for us to bridge the gap whilst we wait for the Honorable Minister and the MD and, of course, the President of the Senate and other distinguished senators and honorable members to return after seeing the SGF off. Rather, the President of the Federation, represented by the SGF. I would like to move on now very quickly with the goodwill messages. And I'd like to plead with all that will be invited to this side of the divide for their goodwill to please restrict yourselves to just 3 minutes, please, and skip protocols as much as possible. If I have your kind permission, we'd like to invite then the representative of the Nigerian Society of Engineers President, who is unavoidably absent, but represented by Engineer Jan Tanko. Please, I'd like us to please welcome him with a round of applause, please.
Because of the one of time, and as requested by the moderator of the program, I would like to lean on already established protocol. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am representing the President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Ali Masuya Rabiu, FNSC, MFR, the Chigarin Lafia, who would have loved to be here in person, but because of exigency of works, he has requested me to represent him. And he sincerely apologized to the MD and to the Honorable Minister, whom he would have loved to be here in person. He has some few words as a remark on this very important summit. And he has called me to represent him because I happen to be a member of the FERMA family. Having served in FERMA from the inception to about 2 years ago when I bow out, he has asked me to represent him. And also, as a one-time national chairman of civil engineers in this country, I'm honored to represent Mr. President. His remarks: I am delighted at the invitation extended to us to be part of this special roads summit organized by the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FERMA. The Nigerian Society of Engineers recognizes FERMA's strategic role in preserving Nigerians' roads assets, and we acknowledge the agency's efforts in the face of funding, operational and institutional challenges. These efforts must not only be sustained, but decisively strengthened. Importance to roads infrastructure. Road infrastructure is foundationally to national development. No economy can function optimally without reliable road networks. Roads drive productivity, enable trade and mobility, support agriculture, and guarantee access to education and healthcare. The condition of our roads is therefore a direct reflection of our developmental priorities and governance outcomes. Relevance of the theme of this summit. The theme, Sustainable Road Infrastructure for National Development, is both timely and necessary. Nigeria can no longer afford a reactive approach to road maintenance. The United Nations Decade of Action for Road Safety 2021 to 2030 challenges nations to significantly reduce road traffic deaths and injuries through safer, more durable, and more efficient road infrastructure. Nigeria must rise to this challenge through deliberate policy choices and sustained investment. The NSC recommendation to this summit is: the Nigerian Society of Engineers strongly calls for substantially increased, predictable, and ring-fenced funding for road maintenance. I would like to appeal to the government to enhance and improve the funding of FERMA for the maintenance of Nigerian roads. FERMA must be adequately resourced to discharge its statutory mandate without disruption or compromise. Furthermore, we urge the federal government to institutionalize multi-stakeholder collaboration by engaging development partners, to the private sector and professional bodies in financing, innovation, and performance monitoring. Sustainable road infrastructure is not optional. It is an urgent national imperative. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the time for incremental action has passed. What is required now is commitment, coordination, and courage. The Nigerian Society of Engineers stands ready to support FERMA and all stakeholders in delivering safe and more sustainable roads for national growth. I wish you a productive and impactful summit. This is from Engineer Ali Masuya Rabiu, FNSC, MFR, the Chigarin Lafia, and the President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. I wish us all the best in this summit. God bless us all.
We will still want that we give him another round of applause, delivering the speech of the President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers at this auspicious occasion. Moving on very quickly, we have announced to us that our top-notch dignitaries are all very busy and engaged in their respective offices. And as a result, we'll take the speech of the President of the Senate and Chairman of the National Assembly at this moment, and then we'll come back to the rest of the goodwill messages. Please kindly bear with us. The Honorable Minister has permitted that should happen at this point. So may I kindly have the privilege of inviting the uncommon President of the Senate and Chairman of the National Assembly, His Excellency, Distinguished Senator Godswill Obot Akpabio, GCON, ably represented here at this occasion by the Senate Committee Chairman on FERMA and former Minority Leader of the Senate, Distinguished Senator Sahabi Alhaji Yao, to please deliver the President of the Senate's speech at this point. Can we have that round of applause for the President of the Senate represented at this occasion? Your Excellency, sir.
The Honorable Minister of State, Federal Ministry of Works, my dear brother, distinguished Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Chairman of Northwest Development Commission, my brother, the Chairman of FERMA from the House of Reps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I should try to cut the protocol and stand on the existing one. Our dear President of the Senate, distinguished Senator Obot Akpabio, will have been here himself, but for the fact that there is a very, very important issue to be debated and discussed in the chambers of the Senate this morning, and it has to do with the Electoral Act. He apologized that he may not be available to be here, but decides to send me to read his address. And the address is as follows. He started by saying, "It is a genuine pleasure to be here this morning, and I begin by expressing my appreciation to the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency for both the courtesy of this invitation and the wisdom behind convening this summit. Assemblies such as these are not ultimately measured by the elegance of their setting, nor by the rank of those present, but by the seriousness with which they confront the challenges before the nation. In choosing to focus on sustainable road infrastructure for national growth, FERMA has prepared substance to ceremony and foresight to routine. I am honored to stand among policymakers, professionals, and partners who understand that the destiny of Nigeria's development is inseparably bound to the strength, reliability, and the endurance of the roads that connect our people. Nigeria is, at heart, a nation in emotion. Our trade defense open movement, our unity is tested by it. Our economy rises or falls with its efficiency. Roads are not mere strips of asphalt laid upon us. They are arteries through which the lifeblood of commerce, opportunity, and national cooperation flows. Where roads function, enterprises flourishes, markets expand, and communities draw closer together. Where they fail, cost rises, lives are imperiled, and pace in governance is quietly but still steadily eroded. It is for this reason that road infrastructure must never be treated as a secondary concern, but as a central pillar upon which national progress rests. Much is said today about sustainability, often in lofty and abstract language. Yet, in the realm of governance, sustainability is neither abstract nor sentimental. It is intensely practical. A sustainable road is not one that dazzles at commissioning, only to decay with indecent haste. It is one that serves peacefully long after the speeches have ended and the banners have been folded away. To achieve these demands, discipline, a move from reaction to prevention, from episodic intervention to continuous maintenance, from short-lived solution to long-term planning. Sustainability, therefore, is not a slogan to be recited, but a policy choice to be imposed and measured by which leadership is judged. It was in recognition of this, truth that the National Assembly enacted the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency Establishment Act of 2002. The law marked a decisive shift in our approach to infrastructure governance. It acknowledged with admirable clarity that to build roads without structured and enduring maintenance framework was physically reckless and developmentally unsound. By placing maintenance firmly within the post of law, the legislature ensured that the serviceability of our roads will no longer depend on political moods or momentary convenience, but on institutional obligation and continuity. In the years that followed, the National Assembly has sought to strengthen this foundation through successive finance acts and the Road Infrastructure Development and Refurbishment Investment Tax Credit Scheme. We have widened the door for responsible private sector participation in road construction and rehabilitation. These instruments reflect a modern understanding of development, one that combines public oversight with private capacity, aligns national priorities with sustainable financing, and recognizes that infrastructure must be planned not only for today, but for the generations that will inherit it. Within this framework, FERMA occupies a position of strategic importance, charged with the maintenance of federal roads. The agency represents continuity in a system often strained by change. Its task is not merely to repair what has broken, but to preserve national assets, extend the lifespan of critical infrastructure, and ensure that public investment yields lasting value. In this sense, FERMA is more than an implementing agency. It is a stabilizing institution, translating legislative intent into durable results felt by the citizens across the Federation. Let me state without ambiguity that the Senate remains resolute in its support for FERMA and for the broader cause of sustainable road infrastructure. That support is not confined to budgetary provision alone. It includes rigorous legislative oversight to strengthen institutional efficiency, policy reform to promote transparency and accountability, and the legal backing for innovative financing mechanism. Roads do not decay in a day, and they cannot be restored in a day. Continuity in law and steadiness in governance are therefore not luxuries, but necessities. Yet, government acting alone cannot deliver sustainable road infrastructure. Federal, state, and local governments authorities must act in concert not at cross purposes. The private sector must be engaged as a partner in development, not merely as a contractor of convenience. Engineers, researchers, development partners, and investors must bring innovation, expertise, and global best practices to bear. Roads do not respect administrative boundaries, and neither should our solutions. The true value of this summit lies in its capacity to draw diverse actors onto a common purpose, shared responsibility, coordinated actions, and measurable results. To the professionals gathered here, let me say this. Your work reaches far beyond concrete asphalt. You are stewards of public trust. Every design choice, every maintenance schedule, every quality standard carries consequences for safety, commerce, and national confidence. To our development partners and investors, Nigeria's evolving legal and policy environment sends a clear message. Infrastructure investment is increasingly anchored in law, protected by reform, and sustained by political will. As we look ahead, the question before us is not whether Nigeria needs better roads. We are unanimous on that point. The deeper question is whether we will build systems that endure. We will maintain what we construct. Will we fund what we prioritize? Will we legislate with foresight rather than expediency? History is seldom impressed by the members of summit convened. It judges instead the systems that survive long after the applause has faded. In that judgment, the National Assembly intends to be found on the side of progress. The Senate will continue to work with FERMA, the executive, and all stakeholders to ensure that Nigerian roads support growth, inclusion, and shared prosperity. For when our roads functions, our nation functions, and when Nigeria moves with purpose and efficiency, our collective future advances with it. This is the message of Mr. Senate President, who unfortunately is not here with you, but he works here with you. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. The President of the Senate and Chairman of the National Assembly, distinguished Senator Dr. Godswill Akpabio, speaking through the Chairman Senate Committee on FERMA and former Minority Leader of the Senate, distinguished Senator Sahabi Alhaji Yau. Please, another resounding applause for him, please. Thank you, and thank you very, very much indeed. We'll move on with the rest of the goodwill messages, because we have a few more individuals whose role cannot be ignored in ensuring that we have sustainable road networks. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, the Vice President, ably represented here by Sadiq Wanga, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Power and Infrastructure, very distinguished senators, honorable members, ladies and gentlemen. Just before we move on, we'd like to take the goodwill of Engineer Professor Samson Duna, DG Naibri. Please, can we welcome him with a resounding applause? And in the same vein, we'd like to yield to you 3 minutes, so skip protocols and go straight to delivering your address of goodwill. Kindly bear with us. Please indulge us with a round of applause one more time.
Thank you, the MC. Let me align myself with the well-established protocol. Let me start by congratulating my friend, my brother, the MD of FERMA, who came up with this laudable program of Road Summit, gathering all the professionals for us to discuss the way forward with respect to our roads. I congratulate you for this wonderful program. My name is Professor Samson Duna, the Director General of Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute, an agency that deals with research in area of building and roads. We commend FERMA. FERMA have been doing well. But for us to do well, we must back it with research. When we walk, we need this walk to last long. When we construct roads, we need to see the value of our roads. But today, what is happening? Most of the research work we do, hardly is it implemented. NIBRI, as of today, has one of the best laboratory that we have. All the equipment you think that is abroad, NIBRI has it here in Nigeria. So I want to use this opportunity to appeal to all those that are into road sector, working with materials. Visit NIBRI. The research facilities are there for you to work with. Let's take, for instance, the bitumen we use in our road construction today. They are mostly imported. We believe those imported bitumen are standard, but we just buy them and use them without testing them. I want to emphasize in area of testing of these construction materials before using them. You cannot test if you don't have enough and standard facilities that you use in the lab. Today is a day we have gathered, we want to discuss the way forward. And part of what I want to strongly recommend from NIBRI is to see that any material used must be tested. Any asphalt that we use must be tested. The environment is different with respect to temperature. The value of traffic loadings that passes through these materials are different. For the fact that a road that is mixed using a particular mix ratio in Sokoto is working, that does not mean that the same mix will work in River State. We need to carry out research to know the mixed proportion that we use, knowing fully well that the idea of using 60-70 can no longer be feasible. Let us emphasize on using design that is valuable, design that is useful, design that is implementable. Roads are being constructed by renowned construction industries. But what we fail to do, instead of carrying out a mixed proportion that will be adopted to the environment, we adopt a mix that is done before. Repetition of mix does not follow. I want to conclude by emphasizing on area of research. Please and please, we need to emphasize that each road has a peculiar nature, and research is the key word if we want our roads to be durable. Once again, I congratulate the MD and your team, and I believe that this summit today will come up with strong recommendations for us to use. I want to give you an opening that NIBRI has done quite a lot of research in the area of new construction materials. Visit NIBRI so that we can work together and more material will be used for you to use. Thank you very much.
Can we please give him yet another resounding applause? The one thing I have noticed is that the MDC of FERMA has been taking note. And that is why he will keep coming up with laudable programs such as this one. Please, another resounding applause for the MDC of FERMA. Thank you so much for what you do, sir. At this point, we'd like to invite the man who sees what happens on our roads every day, form of correcting drivers and ensuring that there's safety on our roads, and also arresting those who flout the laws. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Commission. Please join me in welcoming Corps Marshal Shehu Mohammed, MNI.
Your Excellencies, distinguished senators, honorable members of the House of Assembly, the senior special assistant to the President, heads of parastatals and government agencies here present, MD FERMA and staff of FERMA, good afternoon to you all. Indeed, the road transport subsector today accounts to more than 90% of the human and freight mobility in Nigeria. And as such, sustainable road infrastructure is a key to national development. Federal Safety Corps Nigeria recognizes that achieving a safe and sustainable road infrastructure requires collective responsibility and collective actions. It demands strong political will, adequate funding, strict adherence to standard and ethic, and sustained collaboration among all stakeholders. Therefore, this summit offers an invaluable platform to strengthen partnership and collaboration, share innovations, and develop actionable strategies that will translate policy intentions into tangible improvement on our roads. On behalf of the management and staff of FRC, I commend the organizers of this summit for their vision and commitment to national development. I urge participants to engage meaningfully and provide practical implementable solutions that will accelerate Nigeria's journey towards safer roads and sustainable economic growth. I wish you a fruitful deliberation and assure you of FRC's unwavering commitment to safer roads and sustainable infrastructure development in Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Corps Marshal of the Road Safety, for your kind words and encouraging the job, the yeoman's job that is being done by the MDC of FERMA. Thank you very much, the rep of the Vice President, Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We now want to take the buying in of those of them who make laws for us to ensure that we also get enough, as much as we want to get, to be able to fix our roads when the need arises. And of course, contributing in ensuring that the appropriate funds to FERMA and the Federal Ministry of Works. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to do this, the very first will be the Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on the 5% user charge. Please join me in welcoming Honorable Pastor Francis Waive. Can we please welcome him with a round of applause, please?
The Vice President ably represented, the distinguished senators, honorable members, the Honorable Minister of State, please permit me to stand on existing protocols. I want to thank the MD for this summit and pray and hope that it will be the turning point for our country. Everywhere in the world, developed world, agencies like FEMA are well funded to ensure that road infrastructure are in top notch. Unfortunately for our country, NEMA has not been well funded. That is why we are where we are. With all the road challenges, accidents, and the impact that you get from bad roads that we all suffer from. The 5% user charge, as stated in the FEMA Act, thankfully, now translates in the new tax laws as 5% fossil fuel charge. It is hoped that this will be implemented in such a way and in a quick manner that will bring succor to FEMA and to Nigerians at large. Our committee will continue to work for this, and we do hope for cooperation from every stakeholder in the chain, in the value chain of getting these funds to FEMA. And we thank the President for his support. We thank the Executive for the support. And we hope to achieve this. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you very much for keeping it very businesslike. For me, that was very businesslike. Thank you very much. In all this, Your Excellency and our Chief Host, the Honorable Minister of State, I was not told initially that the Speaker was represented at this event, but I just got that now from the Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on FERMA, who also doubles here as the representative of the Speaker, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, PhD, GCON, EN Zazal. Please let's put our hands together as I welcome the Speaker represented here, Honorable Engineer Aderemi Oseni, chairs the House of Representatives Committee on FERMA, and it is pertinent that you deliver your remarks alongside that of the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Please, a warm, resounding applause for him as he comes forward with his remarks.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on existing protocol that have been properly established. But then I also want to recognize few people before I go into our goodwill message here today. Permit me to recognize my brother, my friend, our leader in the National Assembly, the chairman, Senate Committee on FERMA, the chairman, Senate Committee on Northwest Development Commission, and chairman, Rule and Businesses in the Federal House of Representatives. Thank you very much. And I want to sincerely acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Minister of Works for State and the Managing Director of CEO of FERMA for this wonderful privilege that we all have to contribute to this great, wonderful summit. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, respected stakeholders in the road and infrastructures, ecosystem, leaders of government and industry, development partners, professionals, and fellow compatriots. I'm wearing two caps in this gathering as the representative of my leader, the Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives, the People's Speaker of the 10th National Assembly. I am honored to bring you warm greetings and goodwill from the leadership of the 10th House of Representatives under the leadership of the Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, PhD, who is unavoidably absent due to pressing national assignments. I also convey the goodwill of House Committee of the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FERMA, which I have the privilege to chair. Let me begin by sincerely thanking the organizers of this summit, the Federal Ministry of Works, the Honorable Minister of Works, the board, the Managing Director and management of FERMA for conveying these highly strategic, forward-looking engagements at such a defining moment in our national development journey. This summit is not only timely, it is necessary. It reflects a shared recognition that Nigerian roads infrastructure challenge, demand collective thinking, recognition that Nigerian roads and honest dialogues and coordinated actions. The themes of this summit, sustainable road infrastructure for national growth captures the very heart of Nigerian development challenge and opportunity. Road remains the most dominant mode of transportation in our country, accounting for over 80% of passenger and freight movements. Roads are therefore more than physical assets of asphalt and concrete. They are the lifeline of our economy, the connectors of communities, the enabler of security, and the silent guarantor of national productivity. As the philosopher John Locke reminds us, where there is no road, there can be no commerce. And where commerce fails, prosperity fades. Simply put, when road fails, the economy bleeds. When roads work, the nation moves. Permit me to reflect briefly on our collective journey. Nigeria is estimated to have over 200,000 kilometers of roads, of which federal roads account for roughly 35,000 kilometers. These federal roads are the strategic arteries that carry the bulk of national trade, agricultural produce, industrial goods, and interstate movements. Yet, for decades, a significant proportion of these roads remain in poor or fair condition. Years of underinvestment, deferred maintenance, climate stress, overloading, rapid population growth, security challenges, and institutional capacity gaps combined to improve heavy economic and social costs on our people. These realities shape our resolve in the National Assembly. As people-oriented legislature, the 10th House of Representatives took these concerns seriously. Our engagement with FERMA has therefore been deliberate, continuous, and strategic. Where our oversight appeared firm, it was never adversarial. It was purposeful, guided by the best interests of the ordinary Nigerians and the long-term development of our nation through sustained dialogue and the long-term development of our nation. The House of Representatives, the 10th National Assembly, therefore, in the course of our activities, articulated a 14-point reform agenda aimed at re-engineering, repositioning, and rebirth a FERMA that works for all, one that is proactive, one that is professionally driven, one that is transparent, adequately funded, and accountable. I am pleased to acknowledge the positive response of FERMA leadership, the management, and commend them for embracing reform, for embracing innovation, and for embracing partnership. Today, distinguished participants, I am pleased to announce that a new road maintenance culture is emerging in Nigeria. Gradually but steadily, results are becoming feasible across the 6 geopolitical zones. Roads that were once impassable are becoming motorable and safer. Budgetary allocation for FERMA is improving. Indigenous contractors are being empowered, strengthening local capacity, and retaining value within our economy. Importantly, FERMA is attributing and attracting increased interest from developing partners and expanding technical collaboration. These are not abstract achievements. They are tangible improvement felt daily by commuters, being felt daily by transporters, being felt daily by traders, farmers, and entire communities. Yet, let us be candid with ourselves. We must do more. Wisdom teaches that progress is not a destination, it is a responsibility. The scale of Nigerian roads challenges remain enormous, and sustainability demand both policy choices, innovative financing, and shared ownership. Studies suggest that Nigeria requires several trillions of naira annually to adequately maintain and expand its roads infrastructure. Budgetary allocation alone, no matter how well intentioned, cannot bridge the infrastructural gap of a growing nation of over 200 million people. In this regard, I wish to assure you that the 10th National Assembly remains fully committed to creating enabling frameworks for sustainable road financing. The reenacted 5% fuel tax under the Nigerian tax law in 2025, just as been mentioned by my brother, represents a critical step towards predictable ring-fenced internal funding for federal, state, and local roads. This is not a tax burden to Nigerians, but an investment in safety, an investment in mobility, an investment that will trigger economic growth. When transparently implemented, it will reduce overburdens on annual budgets and strengthen long-term planning. In addition, government must give serious consideration to reintroduction of tolling on rehabilitated and newly constructed road, structured road concessions, and deeper engagement with the private sector through well-regulated public-private partnership. Around the world, infrastructure thrives where public vision meets private efficiency under strong governance. Distinguished participants, the role of the National Assembly is clear: to legislate, to oversee, to collaborate, and where necessary, to call to order, always in the supreme interest of Nigeria. We pledge oversight that is firm, yet fair, collaboration that is open and purposeful, and partnership that delivers value for money and quality outcomes. We expect transparency, prudency, and efficiency, and in the pursuit of this program and aspiration, we offer support, sustainability in our day-to-day oversight function that brings stability and policy certainty. As we deliberate in this summit, let this gathering be remembered not merely for speeches delivered, but for solutions agreed and actions triggered. I urge us to think boldly and act practically. Let us move beyond diagnosis to delivery, beyond plans to performance, beyond intention to impact. The Nigerian people are watching, and they deserve roles that connect opportunity, protect lives, power growth. The House of Representatives look forward to the outcome and recommendations of this summit, which will inform future legislation, policy supports, budgetary intervention, and oversight actions. In conclusion, I reaffirm the unwavering partnership of the House of Representatives with FERMA, the Federal Ministry of Works, the developing partners, and all stakeholders in the collective task of delivering safer, more durable, and more inclusive road infrastructure for our nation. Together, we can ensure that Nigerian roads do not merely connect places, but connect people to opportunity, connect people to security, and shared prosperity for Nigeria today and for generations to come in the future. I wish all the participants robust, insightful, and action-driven deliberations. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
For those of you that are not aware, I'll share this with you very quickly, that each time you clap, you do yourself a wall of good. I actually recorded this from a research that was done by the University of Philadelphia, United States, November 2014, that says people who clap vigorously when it's important to clap live longer, healthier, youthful, wrinkles-free, visit doctors less, and in turn, clapping helps to rejuvenate their internal organs. Please imbibe the culture of clapping. Thank you very, very much. And then make bold, with your kind permission, Your Excellencies, the representative of the Vice President, the representative of the President of the Senate, the representative of the Speaker, very distinguished Honorable Minister, and of course the convener of this program, that would be taking one more goodwill message before we go into settling down for the presentation, which is coming very shortly. But let me invite very quickly to speak with us the immediate past Chairman, Senate Committee on FERMA, who now doubles as the Distinguished Senate Committee Chairman, Northwest Development Commission. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Distinguished Senator Babangida Hussaini. I can hear that applause.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me stand on the protocol so established. Mine is just to congratulate the board and management of FEMA and the Minister of Works for summoning and convening this very important summit. Apparently, I think it echoes my earlier conviction that as a nation, we don't seem to accord so much priority to maintenance. Maintenance, as the Nigerian palace goes, maintenance culture. Maintenance is not a culture. Maintenance is an economy. We have, over the years, not accorded it the rightful place it should have in our economy. FEMA plays a very central role in this regard. Beyond maintenance of road, the cascading effect of maintenance is so wide. It not only creates employment, connectivity, boosting trade and commerce, it also ensures safety in its general ramification. So I think this summit should look critically into this very important element. That is the idea of centralizing and bringing to the fore the role of maintenance in national economic revival. Permit me also to draw the attention of the summit to one very disturbing trend, and that is about our lack of reliable data in our national life. Here today, it came to the fore. The Honorable Minister alluded to about 36,000 kilometers of federal highways in his speech, while the chairman, speaking for the speaker, said 35,000 kilometers of federal highways. I think we can do better than that. We should have an integrated database that will give an accurate number of roads constructed over time. I believe even if it is 36,000 kilometers last year, it must be more than 30,000 kilometers this year, because we have the coastal highway, we have other projects that are coming on board. So I think there is need for effective collaboration between FEMA, Federal Ministry of Works, and other critical stakeholders to ensure that we have credible data that we can always rely on in our planning purposes. I congratulate you for this very important summit, and I look forward to having very robust and implementable recommendations from this summit. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you very much. Please, we can do better with that round of applause for distinguished Senator Babangida Hussaini. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you, and thank you very much. All this while, the Deputy Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on FERMA has been with us, but I forgot to recognize him. Please kindly join me in recognizing and welcoming him to this auspicious occasion. Let's recognize Honorable Sadiq Ango Abdullahi. Thank you so much for coming. Now, we're going to be moving on to the feature presentation on this auspicious moment and on this auspicious occasion. The very first thing I'd like us to pay attention to is the theme for this National Road Summit as convened by the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FERMA. The summit has its theme, Sustainable Road Infrastructure for National Growth. And the man who's been carefully picked to do us the honor of taking us through this presentation will be dealing extensively with reform of the transportation sector in Nigeria, case for sustainable road sector financing. This calls on critical key stakeholders and those of you who are financiers to pay rapt attention, and because at some point there will be a quick Q&A where questions will be asked and answers will be provided.